Swamin Namaste Natalokabandho Karunya Sindho Patitam Bhavabdho Mamuddharatmiya Kataksha Drishtya Rijvyati Karunya Sudhabhivrishtiya Swamin Namaste Swamin Namaste Swamin Namaste Swamin Namaste Yat Kirtanam Yat Smaranam Yadikshanam Yadvandanam Yadshravanam Yadarhanam Lokasya Sadyo Vidhunoti Kalmasham Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namaha Vichakshanaya Charanopasadanat Sangam Vyudasyo Bhayato Antaratmanaha Vindantihi Brahmagatim Gataklamaha Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namaha Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namaha Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namaha Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. My pranams at the feet of my Guru, Swami Bhumananda Tirthaji Maharaj. My pranams at the feet of Shri Krishna, who is none but my Guru, who is manifest in my Guru. And my pranams to all of you devotees who have come here and who are coming here day after day to listen to this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of sweetness, jnana, vairagya, and realization of God, which tells us how to grow in devotion, how to grow in dispassion, and how to realize God in one's life. Now we are going to discuss how to overcome fear and grief by devotion. Bhaktanmar bhakti upayitcha bhayavum dukkavum illadakunnadu engane ennu സംസാരിക്കാൻ അത് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലാണ്. അപ്പോൾ എല്ലാ വർഷം ഞാൻ വിചാരിക്കും അടുത്ത വർഷം ഞാൻ മുഴുവനും മലയാളത്തിൽ സംസാരിക്കും. അതൊന്നും അറിഞ്ഞില്ല. So I will speak in English. Anyway, I have been asked to speak in English. I was telling Swamiji before coming, Swamiji is taking one satsang in the place where his Guru lived every Sunday through Google Meet. And he speaks in Bengali. And Swamiji has learned Bengali very well in this 1 year. He speaks in Bengali, he explains in Bengali. So just before coming, I was saying that I have not been able to learn Malayalam. Every year I think that next year I will speak in Malayalam fully and without any difficulty. So anyway, I'm sorry that I'm not. So we are going to discuss how to overcome grief and fear by devotion. You know, as we read the scriptures, as we go deep into them, especially in Bhagavatam, I have always felt that what is this devotion? By devotion is my topic. By devotion, how to overcome fear and grief. However much we think we are devotees, we are having devotional practices, spiritual practices, we love to read, love to listen. Many of you very regularly read the Bhagavatam, read other scriptures. But how is it that fear still grips us? How is it that we become sorrowful and we get dipped in misery when something goes wrong in our lives? So, has not Bhagavatam told us how to go above this? My dear children, Bhagavatam is only about that. You know that story. Parikshit was cursed, and naturally he was anxious and fearful that on the 7th day he will be bitten by the snake Takshaka and he will die. And that is the time he asked Shukadeva, while he was in Prayopavesha, that please tell me, for a person whose death is imminent, what should he hear? What should he chant? What are his duties? What he should remember? And what he should worship? Also tell me what he should not do. This was his question. And what did Shukadeva reply? Shukadeva first of all said that your question is very good, the greatest, it should be considered to be the best of a question. And not only now, whatever I give you as reply, not only now, always through ages, everybody will be benefited by my replies to you. And what I am going to tell you, how to grow out of this fear and sorrow. That is, how to overcome it. How, in spite of what has befallen King Parikshit, the anxiety and the fear and the sorrow, how to overcome it. It has fallen, no doubt. But what should we do so that we do not get drowned in misery? We do not get drowned in fear. So, he says that people are not interested to know what should be done. My dear children, I think many of us, we love to read the Bhagavatam. We love to hear the Saptaham. So many Saptahams go on. And there are many who constantly listen to the Saptahams, listen to all these lectures. They chant the Bhagavatam every day, maybe one or two chapters every day. But we miss how to grow that kind of a devotion which will take us away from misery and fear. So Shukadeva said, Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Haririshwarah Shrotavyah Kirtitavyasya Smartavyah Chet Abhayam. Said that, O king, you are asking me, this question is very, very good. The best of a question. And what I have to tell you is that to overcome the fear, overcome misery, what one should do in one's life is Shrotavyaha, must listen to the glories of God. Kirtitavyasya, you must sing His glory also, and you should remember Him. Why? For what? Ichchata abhayam. If you want to get rid of fear, this is what you should do. And I think that only this much we take to our heart. Shrotavyaha, kirtitavyascha and smartavyaha. We have to understand what is written in this 3 words. Shrotavyaha, kirtitavyaha, smartavyaha, ichchata abhayam. That is also there. If you want to have removal of fear from your life, there is no fear, then what you should do? We are hearing, we are singing songs, we are chanting, we are remembering also. We are doing it for a little while. We are not bringing into our whole life. For some time of the day, say morning or evening, we sit with our Bhagavatam or we chant our shlokas, we do some worship, and rest of the time we are only thinking of our family, our wealth, our health, our possessions, our qualifications, etc. So throughout Bhagavatam is discussed how to grow the supreme devotion which will eradicate tapatrayam. The tapatrayam, you all know, it is starting, the Bhagavatam starts with that. Tapatrayonmulanam. And we have to understand how this tapatraya can be removed. And for that, what our Bhagavata has told. Now, you know, when all this Mahabharata war, etc. was over, Krishna went back to Dwaraka. Vasudeva and Devaki, they also went along with him. And Vasudeva was staying in Dwaraka. That time, one day Narada visited Vasudeva. And Narada was asking, seeing Narada, Vasudeva worshipped him and gave him a seat and said, I am very happy. You people who are realized, you have realized God, you move about in this world so that the world becomes purified. Now that you have come to my house, I would like to ask you one thing. He says, Brahmas tathapi prichhamo dharman bhagavatam stava yan shrutva shraddhaya martyo muchyate sarvato bhayat. What is he asking? He says that, O Holy One, I wish to know from you those devotional disciplines, Bhagavata Dharma. That is, please tell me, those disciplines which I should follow, following which you have been given the realization of God. You, the best of a devotee of God, Sri Hari, you have come to realize Him. So what were those disciplines which you followed? Please tell me those Bhagavata Dharmas. And I know that Yan Shrutva Shraddhaya Martyo Muchyate Sarvato Bhayat. And hearing which, and not only hearing, Shraddhaya Shrutva. We must hear with Shraddha. This Shraddha is not only when you are listening. Shraddha is what you have listened to implement in your life. So, the people of this earth, the mortals, everybody is a martyaha. Our bodies will fall. So, he says that when we are in our bodies, we are constantly having fear and delusions and dukkha in life. Our days will start with some kind of thoughts, some kind of fear, some kind of grumbling, some kind of delusions. And we do not know what is the solution for all that. In this life, everything has fear in it. If we desire something, we get. We are fulfilled. We are happy that we have got something. But afterwards, there is a fear of losing it. Similarly, when we don't like anything, we are always fearful. Suppose whatever we don't like, I have to face it. So, this is the life. The life is full of fear and dukkha. Our senses, the five senses, they are constantly interacting with various objects. We feel that our happiness are from the objects. But all these objects themselves are perishables. They don't remain. The situations don't remain. People do not remain. So our happiness, which were dependent on objects, people, places, situations, all those, since they keep on changing, they are not permanent, our happiness also goes away. So what is the happiness? Is there any happiness which will remain? And is there any state where there will not be any fear? So Narada is being asked by Vasudeva that please tell me that Bhagavata Dharma, those disciplines, hearing which, with Shraddha, anybody in this earth will be rid of the fear of the cycle of life and death. He also said that, my Lord, he is addressing whom? Addressing Narada. Vasudeva is addressing Narada. He is saying, Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshanabhanguraha tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priya darshanam. He says that human birth is very rare. Durlabho manusho deho. Human birth is very rare. You know, by God's grace actually one gets the human birth. Otherwise we could have been born as insects, animals, birds, reptiles and whatnot. And dehinam shanabhanguraha. And man's life is very, very short. It is of short duration. Tathapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priya darshanam. But most rare is what? When one is able to meet somebody who is dear to God. Who are dear to God? God's devotees. A true devotee of God, the devotee who is the best of devotees. You know, there are lot of qualities given in Bhagavatam. Who is the best devotee? I am not taking this now, but you should read them. Who is the best devotee? We are thinking that we are devotees. Because we are devotees, we have come to listen to the Bhagavata Satram. We listen and we read also. We think we are devotees, we worship, and we are very fond of God. But whom does God like? Have you ever thought that? What are the qualities in a person which, when God sees those qualities, God is very happy with that devotee. So, Krishna has told Uddhava, these are the qualities which a devotee should have. Then only I consider that he is a good devotee. Similarly, in Bhagavad Gita, in the 12th chapter, Krishna has told Arjuna also, who are the best devotees? What kind of devotee is dear to God? Those portions should be read. Those portions, those qualities should be constantly read, constantly reflected upon. Constantly we should try to gain those qualities. Then only we become greatest devotee of God. Otherwise our devotion is very shallow. And we know our devotion is shallow. Is it not? My dear children, how long do you think of God? How much time in the day do you think of God? Maximum 4 hours, maximum 5 hours. That too I think I am saying much more. Rest of the time, what are you thinking? Rest of the time you are thinking about your family, your work, your plans, your savings, where all you will go to see sightseeing, parties. All these things, whom all you would like to go and meet, all these things take away the most of our day. And for God we give a little bit time. We feel that that is sufficient. And we call ourselves to be devotees. No. Read them. Read these chapters in Bhagavad Gita and Uddhava Gita. What God has to say, who are the devotees, best devotees of God. And if we want to become the best of devotees, we must try to cultivate those qualities. So he is saying, Tatrapi durlabham manye Vaikuntha Priya darshanam. Who is Vaikuntha Priya? My dear children, you know, when I read this Vaikuntha Priya, it touches me. And I feel that I should become Vaikuntha Priya. Who is Vaikuntha Priya? Whom God loves. Whom God loves. We say we love God. And here, God loves that devotee. So he says that Tatrapi durlabham manye. It is very, very rare to find one devotee whom God loves. So Vasudeva is actually meaning Narada that you are a devotee whom God loves. You have realized him. And he says, please tell us about the Bhagavata Dharma, the path of devotion. It is said that the Lord is extremely pleased with one following it. And he gives his own self to him. That is, he reveals himself. He reveals himself in essence. We consider God to be what? We know that God is all-pervading. But we worship what? Images, idols, photos. We consider that this is God. And most of the time we don't remember that he is everywhere. So he says that what God is in essence, through this Bhagavata Dharma, God tells us. So please tell us that what God feels we should know as devotees. Not the stories, not the shlokas. What is God in essence, we must know. And we should try to be that. So, there, Narada tells a story to Vasudeva. And what is the story? That there was a king, Nimi, who was doing a Brahmasatra. And in that, while he was doing so, Navayogis came there. Navayogis, who were all self-realized, God-realized, they were luminous like the sun. When they came there, the whole place became brilliant because 9 of them, looking like sun with their own effulgence. So they came there. And King Nimi got up. Not only King Nimi, those who were doing the yajnas, those who were the priests, all got up. They worshipped them and gave them a seat. And then King Nimi, with hands folded, asked him, please tell us, what is Bhagavata Dharma? Bhagavata Dharma, which will take us away from fear and grief. Please tell us that. Because in this world, there is only fear, grief, and delusion. What are those and how we can get rid of that? So, the first yogi said, Manye akutaschid bhayamachyutasya padambujopasanamatra nityam udvigna buddhera sadatma bhavad vishvatmana yatra nivartate bhihi. Manye akutaschid bhayamachyutasya padambujopasanamatra nityam udvigna buddhera sadatma bhavat vishvatmana yatra nivartate bhihi. He said that atra nityam, achyutasya padambujopasanam. That is, nityam means what? Always. And atra is in this world. Nityam achyutasya padambujopasanam. Akutaschid bhayam manne. If we worship the holy lotus feet of Achyuta, Sri Hari, that will take away the fear in everything. There will not be fear anywhere. Now, where from this fear is coming? Asad atma bhavat, udvigna buddhehe, vishwatmana yatra bhihi nivartate. He said that this fear is coming because of the asad atma bhavat. First he said, we must worship the holy lotus feet of Achyuta. Who is Achyuta? Sri Hari. What is Achyuta? Achyuta means who has no change, no movement. Considering God to be such, God is such who has no change, no movement. He has no death, no birth. He is unaffected. He is imperishable. He is eternal. Considering God to be that, Achyuta, who is constantly there, when we consider God to be so and we hold on to His holy lotus feet, then this fear will go from us. Now, we have to understand, we may think that we are also worshipping. Every day we are getting up early in the morning and we are worshipping. We are taking bath, lighting a lamp, offering flowers, offering nivedyam, chanting shlokas. We are also worshipping. We are going to the temples also. So, why is it that the fear doesn't go from us? What is the difference? It says that we must understand what is this upasana. What does it mean by doing the worship for Achyuta? And where from this fear has come? Asad Atma Bhavat. Because of considering that we feel that though the soul, though God is changeless, though the soul or the self is changeless, we consider this body as the soul. Though the body is mortal and the soul is immortal, we consider this body as the soul, as the I. So, with unreal things we have identified. Asad Atma Bhavat. Asad means unreal, which are transitory, which perishes. So, we are mistakenly identified with our body, mind and intelligence. We forget our real identity, the soul or the self, and mistakenly identify with body, mind and intelligence. And because of that identification, when changes come in the body, changes come in the mind, changes come in the intelligence, we feel, I am affected. So that is how the fear comes. And how will that fear go? Vishwatmana. When we will consider that that identity is mistaken, all these unreal things, these are unreal. The whole world is only a display of the real self. When we are understanding that, all our anxiety, our fear will be set to rest forever. So, we have to understand that the soul, the self, the God is all pervading. It is in everything, everywhere, every time. And that is how our fear can be gone. So he says that, my dear king, manne akutasthit bhayam achyutasya padambujopasanam atra nityam udvigna buddhehe asadatma bhavad vishwatmana yatra nivartate bhihi. This asadatma bhavad. Actually, this is the whole cause of our fear and anxiety, the I-ness and the mindness. We consider our body with all its limitations, the body as I, and all that belongs to us as mine. So, not only when there is changes in the body, mind and intelligence, also when whatever we think as mine, my children, my family, my wealth, my health, my qualification, my position, my house, when changes come in that also we are fearful. Also we are thinking that changes may come. By that also we are fearful. We are fearful because we are considering something different from me. So, these things have to be understood very well. My dear children, devotion is not just worshipping and chanting. Devotion is to understand, implying the mind and intelligence. Every word has devotion in it. Every word has knowledge in it. Every word gives us the essence of what is jnana, what is bhakti, and what is vairagya. So, we have to understand these things. This I sense, the experiencer of everything in this world, this I sense actually brings about all the fear, all the anxiety in us, all kind of dukkha in us. Now, what he says is, whatever actions there are, a person, whatever action he does with his body, word, mind and all other sense organs, by the prompting of tendencies generated by the one's past karma, by one's sabhava, all that has to be offered to God. This shloka you know, all of you. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va anusrita svabhavat karoti yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanaeti samarpayetyat. He says this is the essence of Bhagavata Dharma. What he says? That to become free of bhaya, what is fear, we must understand that we are mistakenly identifying ourselves with the body and also whatever the body thinks as mine. We are forgetting that the soul, the self, God is all pervading, and we do not understand what is the actual worship of God. Because of that alone, all this fear comes about. So, what he says is that whatever we do with body, whatever we speak, whatever the mind thinks, whatever our sense organs, they sense, whatever is the work of the intelligence and our tendencies, with all that, whatever we are doing throughout our wakeful state, we should offer it to Narayana, God. Now, this is also something. We say this, we chant this, we feel that we should do this, and we say that we have given our mind to God. Is it happening? Again and again we have to see whether our mind is on God or on the world, on our family. So, to Uddhava, later on, Krishna says that surrender your entire being. Mamekam eva sharanam atmanam sarvadehinam yahi sarvatma bhavena mayasya hyakuto bhayaha. He says, Uddhava, surrender your entire being, your body, mind and soul to me. The essence within all embodied beings. That is, know that I am the essence in all the embodied beings. By that, you will be free from all fear through my grace. So what? Here, Nimi Chakravarti is being told by the Kavi that to get rid of fear, the next is that you must try to surrender yourself with whatever you do with your body, with your speech, your thoughts, your senses, your buddhi, etc., etc. According to your tendencies, whatever work you are doing, everything you offer to God. What is this offering actually? What is this offering? Do we understand what is this offering? We say we have offered. But what is the meaning of offering? What can we offer? Does anything belong to us? If we think deeply, my dear children, there comes the role of mind and intelligence. We have to think. That is why in Bhagavatam it is said, Vicharana paraha. Yat shrinvan vipathan vicharana paraha. We have to do vichara. Vichara is doing with what? With the mind and intelligence. We must use our mind and intelligence to understand this. What? Surrender yourself, offer yourself, we are saying, and we are like a parrot every day chanting this. I think in our everyday prayers, we chant this. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva, etc., etc. What does it mean actually? Does anything belong to us? My dear children, just think. Does anything belong to us? This Panchabhuta, have we created? No. The earth is not created by us, the air is not created by us, the fire is not created by us, nothing is created by us. We are here, sitting in a hall. Where is it? It is on the earth. Does it belong to me? No. Nothing belongs to me. So whom does it belong to? It belongs to God. It belongs to the Creator. It belongs to the Supreme Power. And we have no control. Mind and buddhi must be implied. We have no control. A mother, suppose a girl is pregnant, she is eating very well, she is looked after very well. Everybody is seeing to it that her health is okay. But can we guarantee that the child who will be born will be healthy, will not be weak, will have good intelligence and will not be retarded? Can we guarantee that? Then where is the control? Who is controlling? Am I controlling? We have to think like this. We have to think like this. And then we feel that, oh God, everything is given by you. Everything is given by you. And whatever you are giving me, that is, you have designed in this manner that I will be like this. These are my possessions, or these are my family. This is my wealth, or this is my health. Everything is according to the design of that Supreme. All the bhava in the mind, all the feelings in the mind, everything, nothing we are making. It comes because from that Supreme Source it comes. We forget that. So if everything is His, what are we going to offer? The offering is to remember this. Let us offer. When we go to the temples, when we do a puja, when every day morning we do some puja, we light a lamp, we have cleaned the lamp, we have put a wick, we have poured some oil and we light the lamp, we light an incense stick, but we don't remember this, that it is given by you, nothing belongs to me. It is your wish that I am an instrument. It is your wish that today I will light a lamp. To be thinking, to be remembering this fact, this truth is the offering. So, when we do our work with our body, we must remember, it is you who is making me work through my hands, through my organs, making me speak. When we think, we must remember that it is through you that I am speaking. And it is when we think with the buddhi, we decide, we have the buddhi working in us, all the senses, whatever be the work that we are doing, everything we must remember this. Is it easy to remember? You will all say it is not easy to remember. It is not easy to remember. So, whenever the mind becomes conscious, we have to make a habit. We have to make a habit whenever the mind becomes conscious of it. Remember, and tell God, this is you who is giving me everything. And I remember that it is everything is from you and you alone. Now, this fear, it comes from what? Bhayam dvitiyabhiniveshata syad. Ishad apetasya viparyayo yas asmritihi. Tan mayayato buddha abhajettam bhaktyayikayesham gurudevatatma. Who is telling whom? One by one. King Nimi is being told by the yogi Kavi. So he said that you surrender. You are asking me how to get rid of the fear. So first he said that akutaschit bhayam, no fear will be yours anywhere, anytime. Fear will be gone forever if you do upasana for Sri Hari. And asad atma bhavat, this I-ness and mindness should go from you, and you should see God everywhere, in everything. Feel God inside you, outside you, everywhere. And then he said, the easy way is with your body, mind, intelligence, senses, whatever you are doing, offer it to me. Offer it to me means to remember that He is the source. Remember it every time. We don't remember. When we do something, we feel that I have done, I take the credit. This I-ness again comes. And then he says, if you do not think like this, bhaya will be yours. There will be fear. Because as long as you consider a second entity, I-ness and mindness, what is it? Two. I and things belonging to me. So I am one, and the second is what? All the things which belong to me. And also the world. I feel that I am different from the world. So this fear comes when the mind has a feeling of duality. God is one, without a second. He is in every creature, in everything. And this God is what? All pervading. So, when we have this one duality feeling that everything is different from me, the I-ness and mindness, then what happens? The mind goes away from the God. Mind goes away from the Lord. In our day-to-day life, that is what we are. We are in this plurality. We are not considering the oneness beneath this plurality. How long we think about it? Maybe maximum when we are reading it. Maximum when we are listening about it. Not more than that. What is he saying? When you are active through your body, mind and intelligence in all your actions, you surrender to me, the one the one without a second. If you do not do that, and you consider yourself to be separate from everything else, your mind is actually happening to be away from the source, not considering the Lord to be one. So, your mind is turned away from the Lord. There will be no awareness of your true self, that you are the self, you are the soul, that you are that. God is inside you. He resides within you. You forget that. And because of that, asmritihi, you forget that your own self. So, that is why the fear comes. The fear comes. That is, we feel that dehatma buddhi comes. I am this body we feel as the self and the soul. So it says that when there is a duality, all this fear comes. So naturally, to remove fear, what we must do, we must see God everywhere, one's own Guru, and in the deities, in one's own self, and in everything, and with one pointed devotion, one must worship the Supreme. This is what it says. And as long as there is duality, see, only when there is a second item, then we can smell it, we can hear it, we can look at it, we can taste it. But if everything is same, then who will do what? Who will be fearful? If everything we are able to find out, we are able to realize, we are able to be in that knowledge and the realization that this whole plurality is over the one presence which beneath it. There is only one presence, and that is God. Over that, this plurality is dancing. And if we can constantly think about it, constantly live into it, then we'll understand who will be fearful of whom. Only when there are two, there is a fear. But suppose everything is one. Will there be any fear? Will there be any hatred? Say, when we eat food, sometimes our teeth, it will bite the cheek. Do we get angry with the cheek? Do we get angry with the teeth? No. Why? Because we feel that this is me. Because that is me, part of me. Similarly, when there is everything one, there is no fear at all. So this is how he is explaining. And I don't know whether I have been able to tell you what I want to tell you. I want to tell you only this. Reading this Bhagavatam, and not only Bhagavatam, any scripture, I feel that only one thing we have to understand. And we have to constantly make effort to be so, to realize that God is inside us and God is everywhere. These two things, through our actions, through our speech, through our thoughts, through everything that we do, we should be constantly making effort to understand that it is only He and He alone. He and He alone. So in the active state, what is happening? Waking state. In the waking state, you know the Dhruva's stuti, where he says, Yuvanta pravishya mama vacham imam prasuptam sanjeevayatyakila shaktidhara swadhamna anyamscha hastacharana shravanatvagaadin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. He said that, O my Lord, who is Yoanta pravishya mama vacham imam prasuptam sanjeevayatyakila shaktidhara swadhamna. You are Akila Shaktidhara. You are the most powerful everywhere. You have entered my being, and because of that, my speech has become enlivened. I am able to speak. Not only that, anyamscha hasta charana shravana tvagadin pranan. So, hands, feet, my hearing, my prana, my feet, everything is able to walk, do their duties. They have become enlivened. They are able to do their work. If you are not there, I will be dead. So, this feeling that he is inside, I think I want to tell you only this. I started with how with devotion we can get out of our fear and grief. And whatever I have told you, I end with this. There's only knowing that he is inside us and outside us. Kham vayumagnim salilam mahimcha jyotimshi satvani dishodrumadin sarit samudramscha haresh shariram yatkincha bhutam par pranamed ananyaha. So, this Kham vayumagnim, one is to remember that only because of you, your presence in me, I am alive. I am able to do everything. I am your instrument. Nothing belongs to me. I have no control over anything. To live in that knowledge, and outside, see everything to be Haresh Shariram. He is everywhere, in everything. To be constantly thinking that, constantly with the mind and intelligence, constantly thinking this and remembering it, try to live in that. So, at the end, in Uddhava Gita, Uddhava was telling Krishna that I am fearful. I am very much in this feeling of I-ness and mine-ness. I am not able to see God everywhere. I feel that my body is the I and everything else is mine. What all you are telling me to see God everywhere, I am not able to see that, do that. So, Uddhava was being instructed by Krishna. And at the end, Uddhava says, my dear Lord, you have told me so many things. And now I pray to you, tell me in a very easily understandable manner, how I can remain connected with you always. What I am telling you, remain constantly in this feeling that he is inside you. Remain constantly in the feeling he is outside you. That everywhere he is, that feeling has to be ours. Otherwise, there is no use considering oneself to be a devotee. To be fond of Bhagavatam. What is Bhagavatam saying? Bhagavatam is saying only this. Bhaktya vimuchyen naraha. Knowing this knowledge, one has to become liberated from fear and grief. So, vimuchyen naraha. So Uddhava says, my Lord, my dear Lord, you have told me so many things. I just want to know. Tell me in a very, very easily understandable manner how I can remain constantly connected to you so that I will be free of fear and grief. So, you know what God said? Krishna, he said with a smiling face, full of love. That word I'm forgetting. You know, when I read Bhagavatam, some words are so beautiful. It gives horripilation in the body. It fills the mind with love, devotion. But that love and devotion has to be constant. Don't let the mind go into the family. Don't let the mind go into all that takes away your mind to the world. And whenever the mind goes away, understand it. Pray to God. Tell God. Weep to God. Tell Him, how can I remember you constantly? How can I see you always in everything? I am active. I have a family. In which way I can get out of this I-ness and mine-ness? What should I think? What should I do so that this I-ness and mine-ness reduces and I can see you everywhere? In everything that I do, I have to do work for my house. I have to do work for my family. I have so many responsibilities. I have so many duties. I have to go to the office and earn. In all that normal day-to-day work, how can I still remain in this knowledge that you are within me and you are everywhere? In all my talk, all my thought, all my action, how can I see you and you alone? So whatever I read, whatever I hear, I should be thinking about you. I should get the knowledge, essence of it. I should not miss it. Make my mind and intelligence sharp so that I can understand the essence of this Bhagavatam and I can follow it in my life. And so Uddhava was telling, please tell me in very easily understandable manner. So Krishna said with a very smiling face, he said, Kuriyat sarvani karmani madartham shanakai smaran mayarpita manaschitto madharmatma manoratihi. He said that do all your work for my sake. You know, this is what is told. How can we get out of this I-ness and mine-ness and family? Family is there. It is so real for us. However much we say it is unreal and unreal, it is so real for us. In that we have to find out the real essence. We are in the family, we are inside the world. In that world, how do we find out the real essence, the Atma? That we have to see. Every gem is there in the Bhagavatam. You know what it says? Kutumbeshu na sajjeta na pramadyeta kutumbyapi vipaschin nasharam pashyet adrishtamapi drishtavat. It says that one should not get too much attached to its members in the family. My dear children, you are all Bhagavatam readers. Are you following this? What is it saying? Kutumbeshu na sajjeta na pramadyet kutumbyapi. So, it says that even though one has a family, one should not get too much attached to its members. Are we following it? Then how do we love Bhagavatam? How can we say we are lovers of Bhagavatam and we run to any Bhagavata Satram? You are missing this. We are only taking the devotion where we are singing, chanting, and for some time we are feeling very devotional. This some time sometime for short duration has to stop. It has to spread over the whole day. So he says, Mayarpita mano buddhi, Mayarpita manaschitto, kuryat sarvani karmani, madartham shanakai smaran. He says, do everything for my sake. Always remember me with your mind. And my arpita manaschittaha. And offer your mind and buddhi to me. Mai arpita mano buddhi. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is being told by Krishna. He says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara. Always remember me. It's not possible to always remember. So, Mai arpita mano buddhi. Use the mind and intelligence. Do vichara. And understand. At many times think, am I a real bhakta? If I am a real bhakta, then how is it my attachment to my family is not reducing? How is it that I am constantly getting afraid? And how is it that I am constantly anxious about my family people? How is it that dispassion is not growing? How is it that dispassion towards the world is not growing? Love for God should increase, dispassion should increase, and both together, Bhagavat Prabodha should be there. Bhaktihi, Viraktihi, Bhagavat Prabodha. This should happen. So, he says, after that, Mameva Sarva Bhuteshu Bahirantam Apavritam Ikshyat Atmani Chatmanam Yatha Khamamala Shayaha. He says, the pure-minded devotee, that devotee whom God likes. So, the devotees should cultivate those qualities which God likes. That devotee should recognize me, the Lord of all, in the spirit, pervading within and without. And every object, within and without every object. That is, he must find me inside and outside of every object, including himself. Like the Akasha, pervading everything, unobstructed by any barrier. Ikshet atmani chatmanam yatha khamamala shayaha. That is, mameva sarvabhuteshu bahiranta vapavritam. That I am alone there in everything, outside and inside, including oneself. And I pervade everything. Like the Akasha, the space pervades everything. And the space is not obstructed. It just pervades everything. So like that, I am pervading everything. Think of that. Also he says, as long as you are not established in that, then worship me. Yavat sarveshu bhuteshu madbhavo nopajayate tavadevam upasita vang manah kaya vrittibhi. As long as you are not able to see God everywhere in every object, inside and outside, you do worship also. But keeping in mind that I am the essence, that through every work, through mind, thought and body, whatever you do, through that, you try to find my presence in everything. That is, work should not be just a work. You must think that, as I explained, that it is all through God and given by God. This is what one should do. So, I stop here. No, I've got some more time, no? Oh, I've got time. Okay, I got. So, I will talk on this. He says that through all your work, we should try to find out the that I am everywhere, within and without all objects. I am pervading like the sky, everything. And just like Prahlada said, he also said to his friends, Koti prayaso asura balaka harerupasane sve hridi chidravat satah swasyatmana sakyurashesha dehinam samanyata kim vishayopapadanaihi. My dear children, I love to chant, but I am not, my body has not been well. So fever, throat pain, cough. I thought I will not be able to talk also today. And I was requesting Swamiji to talk today and I'll talk tomorrow. Then ultimately I decided to talk. So I'm not able to chant. In this Bhagavata Satram, I really like to chant slokas. And I get lot of joy chanting slokas. But as I was telling you, I like whatever I chant, I feel like being like that. Ever since I have been having my fondness for slokas developed, that too because of Swamiji. He asked me to learn slokas. And he said that learning slokas, understanding the meaning, is the most effective sadhana for realization. So this chanting and really getting absorbed in this chanting has been a great fondness for me. And so I'm not able to chant today, otherwise I would have chanted. So he says, Prahlada was saying to his classmates that you must worship the Lord. He is our dearest of all, the soul of our heart. He is the one, He is our father, mother, everything. And he said, Koti prayasaha. What is the great difficulty in worshipping Him? What is the great difficulty? Who is like the sky, pervading the hearts of all, including yourselves? My dear children, this is what we miss. We worship every day some idol, some image, something, some devotional disciplines we have. We forget that He is like the sky, everywhere and including our heart, inside me and outside. He is there. So, we should remember that. Raya kalatram pashavas sutadayo grihamahi kunjarakosha bhutayah sarvertha kamaha kshanabhangurayushaha kurvanti martasya kiyat priyam chala. And he says that this life is very, very short. Raya sarve khanava. This Shanabhangurayushaha, our human body, has very short duration of life. And in that, what real joy can we get? We are constantly thinking about Rayaha, that is wealth, Raya, Kalatram, wealth, wife, Kalatram, Pashavaha. Pashava is elephants and all that. Earlier days, cattle. Earlier days, that was the, most treasured things, cattle. So, Sutadaya and the children, Griha, house, Mahi, landed property, Kunjara, elephants, Kosha Bhutayaha, and lot of savings. Sarve Artha Kamaha. They are only temporary objects of possession. Only temporary. They will, when they will not be there, we don't know. They are not eternal. Anything in this life is not eternal. They are adyantavantaha. Krishna is telling Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita that everything is adyanta. They appear and disappear. And from everything, even though we get a little happiness in the beginning, everything is mixed with some kind of sorrow and fear. So, what is that? Why do we go behind that? So he says that with his uncertain and short lifespan, what real joy can we get from these things? Why are you going behind it? And kutumbeshu na sajjeta, na pramadyet kutumbyapi. So, though you have a family, every time be very, very alert that you are not too much attached to the members of the family. How? You will all ask, no? How? Because we are so attached to our family, our children, our possessions, our post, our prestige, all these things. He says that always think, putra dharapta bandhunam sangama pantha sangamaha anudeham vyantete swapno nidranugo yatha. He says that all this family, children, friends, relatives, consider that you are meeting them in a gathering. Just like say this is a gathering. This is the gathering. You are meeting so many people. So many people here are meeting for the first time. And some come every year, so they have become good friends. So it's a gathering. You are not living with them. In the family also, always be alert to think that all the people of the family, it is as if we are in a gathering. Anudeham vyantete, swapno nidranugo yatha. Just like in the dream also. Dream we see so many families. Maybe we see a family, we see ourselves to be a king or a queen having so much of riches and so many children. After that, when the dream breaks, we don't think about it. Oh, I had a family. Oh, I had a very big house. Oh, I had a palace. Oh, I had so many houses or so many cars. We don't think like that. We simply leave it at that. It was a dream. Similarly, remaining in the family, think that you are meeting them in a gathering and also as if you are seeing them as in a dream. So don't get attached. Just like in the dream family we don't get attached, similarly, the family which you think as real, it looks so real to us. And this gathering, is it real? All of you are really sitting here. But do not have any kind of attachment. Ittham, again another. So 2 points he has given. What point? One is, it's just like in a gathering, you don't get attached to each other. Say you are going in a train, you meet co-passengers, maybe 2 days you have spent with them. Then you get down in your own stations. You don't even remember them. So, as if in a gathering, also as if in a dream. And the third is, Itham parimrshan mukto grihesh vatiti vadvasan na griher anubadhyeta nirmamo nirahankritaha. A person will not get attached to the home if he reflects on this truth and lives in the home like a guest. That is, lives in the home like a guest, without any feeling of I and mine, with regard to anything or anybody in the life. Very, very important. But why has Bhagavatam told all these things? Who is telling whom? Uddhava is being told by Krishna. What did Uddhava say? Soham mamahamati, mudhamatir vigadha. All of you know this sloka. Oh, yesterday in the quiz this sloka had come. And I heard that 22 people have given the correct answer. So it's a very known sloka. All of you know it by heart. I don't know it by heart so much. Soham mamahamiti mudhamatir vigadha. So we are in great mudhata, great delusion. And what is the delusion? Soham, mamaham. That is I and mineness. So he says that, oh Lord, please tell me how to get rid of this I and mineness, because you have instructed me, Tvam tu sarvam parityajya sneham svajana bandhushu maya veshya manoyama. No, what is that? Tvam tu sarvam parityajya sneham svajana bandhushu maya veshya what is that? None of you knows, cannot help me? Maya Veshya Manas Samyak Samadrik Vicharasvagam. He said that Krishna told Uddhava that abandon all attachment for your own people. Resign yourself to me. Wander over the world, recognizing my presence in everything. This is what is being told. This is what I have told just now. Explained to you. I discussed it. That consider God to be present everywhere. Inside you, outside you, everywhere. So he told this to Uddhava that put your mind in me, resign yourself to me, wander about the world, recognizing my presence in everything. And he also said that this world is transitory. Know that very well. And you must see this world in the self and all-pervading self in me. Also he said that when a person is established in this knowledge, jnana vijnana nischaya, when a person, a devotee, gets established in this knowledge, that is, he is able to keep his mind in God, sees him everywhere. He sees the Lord as the essence of the world. Though he interacts with the world, but he understands that essence is God. Essence is God. That is, suppose there is a garland. The garland can be made of various kind of jewels, big, small, various colored. But what is the essence there? The thread. Similarly, the essence is God. And he recognizes the whole of the manifested existence as ensouled by God. So this whole display of the world, God is one without a second. But he has chosen to become so many. But he is the one. Beneath everything, he is the one. We have to see it. We have to understand it. Our devotion is just not singing and doing Nama Sankirtana. We have to understand this. And that becomes a very interesting adventure in life. To remember this. Whenever you get time, think about this. With your mind, with your buddhi. Think about this, reflect on this, do vichara, remember it. And you will find that in no time you have started getting established in this. So all these things Krishna said. That he said that when somebody gets established in this, then Pashyan madatmakam vishvam na vipadyeta vaipunah. When he recognizes that the whole of the manifested existence is ensouled by me alone, then he becomes free of all fear, all dukkha, all kind of delusions. Because it is only he is just he alone, one. There is no second. Only when there is a second, all these things come. Then what Uddhava said? Soham mamaham iti mudhamitripikaha. Uddhava said, my dear Lord, you are giving me such instructions, but I am unable to do it. I am under this maya of yours, that I am the body, and all those connected with it are mine. So I have this problem. Please take me out of that. And by taking out means what? Nivartate bhi. Nivartate bhi. So Uddhava is telling all these things. Do not get attached to your members of the family. Consider that it is a gathering. As you consider the dream family, consider them also so. Also, itham parimishan mukto grihesh vatithivad vasan na griher anubadhyeta nirmamo nirahankrita. Also, you should remain in your house as a guest. Just like a guest comes, many of you are staying here in the ashram, in various people's houses as guests. In that house, if something happens, you are not that bothered because it is their house. But if it is in your house, then you will be bothered. So in your house also, it is not said that in your house you should not be bothered. But your attitude should be like a guest. So, remain like a guest. Nirmamaha, nirahankritaha. Not without the feeling of I-ness and minus. This is what he has told. So, my dear devotees, this is what I wanted to tell. And I feel this is something very, very good. Very simple. Very, very simple. Only one thing to be remembered. What is to be remembered? That we have to be that kind of a devotee whom God likes. And that kind of a devotee, when God likes, he understands that God is the essence of everything. He is everywhere, inside, outside, everywhere he is in this world. And when that feeling comes, and as it comes, it will not happen in one day. You have to think, vicharana paraha. You have to think, and then only it will be. So slowly it will come. And when it comes, it gives the supreme bliss in the mind. Okay, I stop. Adhokshajalam. I will not chant. By talking, my voice has gone completely. So, I'm just very happy to be with you and speak for some time. This is the 22nd year, and always it has been a great fondness for me, I should say, to come here and speak in front of you. And I always wish that not only the reading and hearing, one should become sadhakas, That I find are missing. In the Bhagavata, everywhere it is said. Particularly, you go to the Mahatmas and holy people. In every chapter you will find, every skanda you will find, who are holy people, what is the holy association, what are their qualities. And you will find, go particularly to a guru, ask him, ask for instruction. You have to be in front of a guru and learn from him. That should be done, not just listening and listening. I hope all of you, some of you at least, understand this and you follow this.